Okay, next, let's take a look at this clip of Ann Coulter, another radical Anglo-American witch, as she expresses her total disregard and lack of concern and humanity for the civilians in other nations. Again, this is the typical trait of radical Anglo-American bigots and racists. Listen how she expresses herself.
I don't think we even need more troops. I think we'd be a little less worried about civilian casualties. I mean, are the terrorists, are Islamic terrorists a more frightening enemy than the Nazi war machine? I don't think so. Fanatics can be stopped. Japanese kamikaze bombers, you can stop them by bombing their society. We killed more people in 2 nights over Hamburg than we have in the entire course of the Iraq War. Who should we bomb in Iraq? The insurgent forces. I mean, we did in Afghanistan last week, hit Taliban, and what do we hear in the New York Times? Amnesty is crying because some civilians were hit. Well, that happens in a war, and I'd rather have their civilians die than our civilians die. Not fight a clean, hygienic war. I mean, I think we either have to get rid of this secular religion of FDR, or we have to get rid of the idea of a hygienic war, because that was not a clean, hygienic war, World War II. We killed a lot of civilians, and we crushed the Nazi war machine, and the idea that Nazism, which was tied to a civilized culture, was less of a threat than the Quran tied to a Stone Age culture, I think is preposterous.
Killing civilians even accidentally as part of collateral damage or by the way things happen in war-friendly fire, that's going to encourage more young people to become enemies of the United States.
No, 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 no. No, because you are destroying the society that has produced these monsters, and you win by killing the other side and not allowing your side to be killed. Withdrawal would be the worst thing we could do.
So as you clearly heard her expression, you see, total disregard for the civilians of the other side, total lack of concern. You see, she's not only saying to kill the terrorists or kill the insurgents, she said bomb their society, destroy their society, and hey, who cares if the civilians die? It doesn't matter, you see? But again, that is the typical trait of the radical Anglo-American racist and bigot. They don't care, you see? This is the same way their ancestors acted. They slaughtered Native Americans. They slaughtered when they went to Africa, when they went to Asia. They have no concern for the humanity of the other. Matter of fact, they don't even really consider the other side human beings. That's why they use the words they use about people in the Stone Ages, backwoods, this and that. They demonize their enemy. They demonize the victims, the target of their aggression, so it justifies what they do. You see? You see? This is how they carry on. You see? And she had the nerve to talk about the Quran connected to a Stone Age society. Miss Coulter, you stupid radical Anglo-American witch. Do you know that it was the Europeans when they came in contact with the Muslims? This is what brought your ancestors out of the Dark Ages into what was called the Renaissance period. This can be read about in books like Stanley Lane Poole's The Story of the Moors in Spain, or the book by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, The Golden Age of the Moors. You see? So, you know, wow. But again, I'm not surprised. That is how the radical Anglo Christian American bigot and racist believes. So don't be surprised to hear them talk that way. Now let's move on. Okay, the next bit of evidence that I present in my case of proving that the true motivation behind the radical Anglo Christian Zionist conservative bigots is indeed race is a story about our brother Keith Ellison, in which a lawmaker by the name of Virgil Goode is attempting to discriminate, to try to pass laws that will allow them to legally discriminate yet again against a target of their racism and bigotry. Okay, as you know, Keith Ellison was is the first Muslim ever elected to Congress. And because of our brother being the first Muslim elected to Congress, this radical Anglo-American bigot by the name of Virgil Goode decided to write a letter trying to warn everybody that, immigration needs to be limited so that no more Muslims could be elected to Congress. You see, and this is what I'm saying. See, this is the hypocrisy of these people. This is why people around the world don't like the radical Anglo-American bigots, because you're hypocrites, you see? You talk about freedom, you talk about democracy, you talk about how you offer religious freedom, then you turn around and start saying things like this, you see? You see? This is the man's right to be part of Congress. He's an American citizen, okay? Congress is not just for Jews and Christians. Okay, it is supposed to be for people of all American backgrounds. Okay, so this man was elected to Congress, and this bigot, Mr. Virgil Good, wants to stop other Muslims from being elected. He thinks that limiting immigration is going to stop it. You idiot! Most American Muslims are from America. Okay, predominantly African American. So stopping immigration won't stop anything, because most of the Muslims in America are American people. African Americans, there are many white Americans, and there are now Latinos becoming Muslim. So stopping immigration wouldn't stop it, because the predominant group of Muslims in America are African Americans. So you see, but this again just shows you the ignorance, you see, of the radical Anglo-American bigot, you see. So he was saying that they need to stop legal immigration to reduce the amount of Muslims coming in. He said that they wanted to end diversity visas. You see, what's diversity about? See, he wants to stop diversity. So I think it's quite clear what these people's agenda is. So don't be fooled. Let's move on to another case of congressmen attempting to or pushing for laws to allow them to legally discriminate against the targets of their bigotry and racism. Another such radical Anglo-American bigot is Congressman Peter King. Okay, this man is the chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Homeland Security Committee, and he has endorsed religious and ethnic profiling. He would require persons of Middle Eastern and South Asian descent to undergo additional security checks. Now, imagine this man is the chairman of that committee. Can we trust a man with such ideas in his head? Bigotry? Racism, who wants to judge people based on your skin color or the way you look? Can we really trust this man to do a good job with Homeland Security when he has a mind like this? But see, this is what I've been saying all along, brothers and sisters. You see, they want to legally, as they've done in the past, legally discriminate against the targets of their hatred and bigotry. You see, so when I hear somebody talking like this lets me know that his agenda against Islam is more than just religious. He's talking about profiling the people. Obviously, that has to do with the visual, your skin color, the way you look. It's clearly racist, and to deny it is foolish. You know, to deny it is clearly foolish. You see, there's another story about him in which he was at Stony Brook University, and there was a little controversy because he made a statement saying that 85% of the mosques in the United States are run by extremists. And when he was asked by a student if there had been a survey or some type of study done to prove this, his answer was no. You see? But this is the way the bigot thinks. He has no information to justify his claims. See? His claims are justified by the fantasies that he has in his head. You see? By the thoughts and the hatred that he harbors for the other ethnic group or racial group or religious group. That's all he needs. He doesn't need information. He doesn't need facts. He doesn't need evidence. All he needs is the thoughts in his own ignorant head to justify the way he thinks. So it's amazing that when the student asked him, did he have any proof? His answer was no, and he made no apologies for that. Again, that is the arrogance. That is the arrogance and the ego and ethnocentric thinking of the radical American bigot. That's why these people are dangerous. These people are actually the dangerous ones, not the Muslims. Because behind these people are the weapons of mass destruction and mass murder, you see. So they can use these weapons. They have the force of power behind their irrational and racist beliefs to destroy the target of their bigotry, the target of their racism. So this is what makes them more dangerous than any people on the face of this earth. Because they are back, not only do they have these dangerous thoughts, but they back up their thinking with weapons of mass murder and destruction. Therefore, I stated again, these people are the most dangerous people on earth, not the Muslims.